Hi there. Welcome back. Two gunmen were shot and killed when they reportedly attacked the site of a Muhammad cartoon exhibition and contest in Garland, Texas. The attackers, clad in body armor, took aim at a security officer. They shot him in the ankle. Good job, guys. And then, of course, they were shot and killed by a police officer. If not for the sharpshooting lawman, could this have been America's Charlie Hebdo? That's the French magazine that was the scene of a mass shooting earlier this year following the publication of cartoons depicting Muhammad. And what does this mean for free speech in this country? I will turn to an expert, perhaps the greatest mind working in this very chasm. It's Matt Welch, editor-in-chief of Reason magazine. Matt.
Happy to see you.
Happy to see you. I know, tears, single tear of happiness, of course. So let's talk about ISIS stuff in Texas. It's a really bad place to go and try and shoot people because everyone's got a gun.
Those dudes are wearing body armor. You realize that? So they went in the body armor, shot one guy in the ankle, and then just were immediately cut down. That's just not going to work out in Texas.
No, that was a bad call. I mean, maybe that's the reason they had the event in Texas. But I want to talk about it. The American Freedom Defense Initiative. This sounds great. I want to defend free speech. I love freeness, but is this group really at the zenith of the free speech movement?
Pamela Geller, who's part of this, Geert Wilders, the Dutch politician, Robert Spencer, these people are great defenders of free speech on American soil, usually. They're not so great when they talk about when Angola was allegedly, but not really, thinking about banning Islam. They're like, great, because that's what you have to do. So they are inconsistent defenders of free speech. That has absolutely nothing to do with our defense of what they did. They're going around the country, trying to draw a 7th century existing, historical character contests, and they're getting shot at. And the thing about America right now is that we expect that to happen. Yeah. What kind of horrifying state of affairs is that? Where
it's sad, yeah. If people shrug at that, that is a sad state of affairs.
The cartoonist for the Seattle Alt Weekly, Molly Norris, disappeared herself. She had suggested a Draw Muhammad Day back in 2010. She's off the map now.
All right, but as a magazine editor, and I know that you tackle free speech issues every month at Reason. I mean, this is part of your reason for being. What should people be doing?
We have a sickness in this country with our culture of free speech, and we saw it not just with gunmen trying to shoot up a free speech event, but also there is this week in New York, tomorrow night, there's supposed to be a celebration honoring Charlie Hebdo. 200 members of PEN America, this incredible free speech organization that's almost a century old, 5% of its membership said, you know what, sorry, I'm not good with giving these people a Courage in Free Speech award because we're afraid that it sends the wrong message to disadvantaged minorities. It's an amazing thing to try to slander the dead as racist, which they've done in this case, but more importantly, just saying that we should have a different quality for free speech if maybe someone who's from a disadvantaged place is being insulted by it.
But there is a qualification when people on the left who should be defending free speech. I mean, everyone in this country should, at least those who hold public office, who promise to uphold and defend the Constitution, when they still want to peg the artists and writers at Charlie Hebdo as somehow being in the wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, they really don't get it. It's so offensive.
It was one of the most disillusioning moments in modern intellectual history to see how people took about 5 seconds after the blood was being mopped up in Paris to totally takes cartoons out of context and tar them as racist. It kind of collides with a lot of American trends on college campuses right now with free speech. Everyone is so concerned with calling someone else a racist that they've lost the plot about defending free speech to begin with.
Well, they've forgotten what free speech is. If your greatest concern is not being offended, that is the opposite of free speech and protecting the expression of it.
Especially when we're talking about blasphemy. I mean, the Charlie Hebdo guys, they were blasphemous. They were anti-clerics of all stripe. And the incredible statement by the dissenters in PEN America said, well, even if they were said to punch equal opportunity offenders, that's still wrong because we don't live in an equal world. This is in America. This is an American free speech intellectuals coming to this conclusion. That is a dangerous conclusion that we need to fight against if we're going to protect the culture of free speech, which is the most important part, keeping our constitutional free speech in check.
Amen. I have a question. Are you passionate at all about this issue?
Oh, really? It's really irritating.
I know it is. And I know that you fight for it every day, and I hope that you come back and talk about a lot more stuff, will you?
Thank you very much. It's great to see you.
Oh, Matt Welch, I love seeing you. Thank you. Coming up, you think you've seen it all. How about a shirtless man?